Mariano Agmi with the final bell, and I'm very happy to be joined by Jorge Tovar Jr. Jorge, how are you?
Good, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks, man. Thanks. How's training going for your fight against Lester Medrano just this Saturday, right? July 27th at the County Coliseum in El Paso.
Yes, sir. Training's been great. I've done several changes compared to my last training camps, so I feel confident in my work that me and my team put in. So I'm
Yeah.
excited, man.
What kind of changes did you make?
My sparring partners,
Yeah.
sparring, I took care of the running itself.
Yeah.
I took care of that. My last two fights, I've gone 6 rounds.
Yeah.
So, I'm learning that it's not only knockouts because
Right.
it's gonna get to a point where these boxers are gonna take my power, and I gotta go back to the drawing board and use my boxing IQ.
Absolutely. Because you started off
So
your
yeah,
career with six knockouts, right? The first six fights.
right,
Yeah. Yeah. So you got used to the power.
right, man. I guess it got to my head a little. Every fight I was looking forward to the knockout, knockout, knockout. But these experienced fighters, man, they know how to survive there. They know they could teach you a thing or two. So I've been learning a lot of things inside the ring and outside the ring as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's probably good for you to kind of learn this early on, right? Because some of these guys, if you look at a guy like in your weight class, Edgar Berlanga, he fell in love with his power, right? He had all those first round knockouts, I think 16 in a row. And then from there he started struggling and you can kind of see that he started doubting himself. For you to kind of go through this now, you realize that you're just not going to knock everybody out. It's impossible. No one really does, right? And so as that level of opposition goes up, obviously they're going to be able to take it better, right? And then it'll be more about your skills. Yeah.
Right. It was much needed though. That's
Yeah.
how you mold the fighters. So I just see it. It's a good thing for my career. It's a great learning experience, and some things you got to learn in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So tell me a little bit about Lester Medrano. What are your thoughts on him?
I mean, I see nothing but he's a slugger. He's gonna come to fight. He's gonna start swinging wild. So I don't see very much technique in him.
Mhm.
One of those punches could erase 2 months of training camp. So I
Right.
got to keep my hands up lightly.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at his record, I see he has pretty much four times as many fights as you, and he has faced the former world champion and Neomar Cermeño. How do you overcome that experience in your fight?
Like I said, my last two fights taught me a lot, and I
Yeah,
guess it all comes down to train for your fight too.
yeah,
Not experience could help, but at the end of the day, if you didn't put in that hard work, it's gonna show the day of the fight.
yeah, definitely, definitely, absolutely. Um, Taking a step back and looking a little bit more at your background, how did you get involved in boxing as a sport, and how old were you?
I started boxing when I was 8.
Hmm.
Well, pretty much fighting. I was the chubbiest little fat kid, and also I grew up with like what 10 cousins, and I was the youngest, the chubbiest, so I got picked on the most.
Yeah,
I had to fight. Plus, I have two sisters. I had to look out for them as well.
yeah. Are you the oldest in your out
No,
of?
I'm actually
Oh, you're the youngest. Okay.
yeah, I got two sisters. I'm the middle child.
Oh, the middle child. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. So you had to protect them. I get that. um, and what was your amateur career like? Was it a long career?
My amateur career, I started at 15 up until like my 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, uh, when you're a fighter from a small city like me, you got to work extra hard.
Mhm.
Down here in my city, we didn't really have many amateur events going on, so I would treat a lot of sparrings like my actual fights, just so I could get experience. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
when I would go to nationals, state, I would be facing fighters that would have 100+ fights, and I only had like 9.
Yeah.
And those out of those 9 fights, I fought like 3 fighters 2 or 3 times. You know what I mean? The same fighters.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you
Yeah.
consider
So
one of the questions I had for you is about El Paso as a fight town. I know it's a small place, but it sounds like there's a good scene over there. Um, what does it look like when it comes to El Paso? Do you end up going between El Paso and Las Cruces as far as like sparring just to get some variety? How does it work?
Yeah, man. Down in Las Cruces, shout out to Austin Trout. He's the
Yeah.
one who time invited me for sparring, and that opened up my way of thinking thanks to him. So yeah, I guess local fighters work with each other, knowing that we're from a small city. We don't have the same opportunity as the big cities do, but we try to help each other most of the time.
Yeah, yeah,
But it is pretty hard.
yeah. And then coming up, who did you look up to when it came to either local, guys, or I know Antonio Escalon is from there, right? Um, or like, or even like, more national. Like, who did you look up to back in the day?
Uh, you know what, man? I didn't. There was really nobody to look up to.
Okay.
Boxing's been there, so I would say I'm one of the few people to bring local pro boxing back to the city. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I feel like all eyes are on me because I am the co-main event. I have been the main event, and like I said, I brought a promoter in a long time to El Paso. El Paso is a fight town. I
Yeah.
just feel like we need to and better promoting, and the people gonna come out and support.
Yeah. And the County Coliseum seems like it's become like your home base, right? You fought there now 3 times in a row, right? This is your third time?
Yeah, not only that, but in the amateurs, they always had events there. The Golden Gloves were held there. They had tournaments outside the Coliseum. So to me, it's like, fighting in my backyard. I'm comfortable.
Awesome, awesome. And you're in a like a action-packed division. If you look at the super middleweight division, I know that Canelo's at the top and he's got all the belts, but you got all these young guys that are starting to really come up. Christian and Billy, Pacheco. There's many of them. What are your thoughts on that division? We talked about Edgar Berlanga also, who's going to be fighting Canelo next. What are your thoughts on the division as a whole?
Man, I know that division is stacked. I know what I'm headed towards too. And all I could do is keep working hard, keep sharpening my tools, and take care of my career. That's all I could do. And I've always said, man, because I'm a fighter from a small city. I've always said it's just a matter of time for me to get the spotlight and run with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
but
think, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I know what I'm headed towards too. Though is great, nothing but great fighters in a stacked division as well.
Yeah. Is there someone that you look at, maybe like who's also coming up that you see yourself fighting in the future as a rival?
Well, I wouldn't consider him a rider, but I know he's around my radar because is the weight classes. But man, most of these fighters that you just named, I was with them in the amateurs as well. There's several amateur fighters that I fought, and they're signed to these big companies. And I've always questioned, why am I not there? I'm not there. I'm from a small city. I don't have much exposure, but I just know it's a matter of time.
Yeah. Anyone out of those in particular that you would like to face that you have in mind or no?
Everybody, man,
Right.
everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. Nice.
no specific person.
Yeah. It's great to see that you have been active ever since you signed with Marshall Kaufman, King's Promotions. You have been pretty active. This is what your fourth, this is your second fight of the year, but maybe your fourth with Marshall. Is that right? Or your third, maybe
My third.
your third one with Marshall.
Yes.
How important is activity for you at this stage?
It's very important, man. Especially, I'm 25, but most of these boxers have accomplished much more and way younger than me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like I said, got the other things. They're from a big city. They got the connections. They got a name attached to them or whatnot. I just know I gotta stay active and take care of myself, man. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think there'll come a point, I guess, in your development where you might have to leave, the region in order to kind of, maybe for sparring or for training camps, in order for those kinds of opportunities?
I have to, man. I have to. There's not really much here in El Paso. I gotta go. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna have to start traveling, and that's how it is in every industry. You know, what I mean, if whatever job you got here in the city, you know that El Paso only has so much offer, and eventually you're gonna have to take off.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And you can always come back and headline, right? Every couple of fights.
Uh,
Yeah. Now, do you come from a fighting family, or are you, you and your other cousins, or is it just you?
Oh man, I mean, just me, man. From what I heard, I don't know, Dad's great uncle when he used to box, but I never met him. I never knew about it. you know. But for sure, my whole family's a fighter. It's in my bloodline.
Yeah, absolutely.
We fight in the, we, you know.
Right, right. Some of them don't fight officially, maybe, right? Not professionally, but they get it in.
Yeah,
Awesome, man. Awesome. Any message to the fans who are going to come out this Saturday to support you? I know, Stephanie Hans in a big fight against Miranda Reyes, who's also from El Paso originally. And any message to the fans?
I really, really greatly appreciate everybody showing up, man. Just supporting that motivates me. And like I said, I have a lot of people who look up to me and whatnot. So I just want to give hope to all the kids that are from the same place that I'm from, a small city, but we still got big dreams. And if I could do it, they could do it. You know what I mean? I just want to give hope to the youth and motivate them.
Absolutely, brother. Well, look, I know it's fight week, so I don't want to take too much of your time. I wish you the best of luck on Saturday, and I hope that we talk again, maybe after this fight and definitely for before your next one.
Of course, man. I'm always willing to talk, man.
Sounds good, brother. Take care. Good luck.
I appreciate it, man.